A couple weeks ago, I started development on a game where you play as a curious kid who thinks that their neighbor may be involved in some alien conspiracy. The game requires you to sneak around your neighbor's house, take pictures of interesting artifacts, and uncover the mystery. After populating the house with some furniture and evidence, I had to create an elevator to connect 2 floors of the level. Nothing too crazy here, just transitioning between states using animation. The black and white textures I used initially were a bit overwhelming, so I replaced all the textures with more realistic ones. I used bricks for the exterior of the house and used wood panels, tiles, wallpaper, and concrete on the inside. I don't want to say too much about the later parts of the game for those interested in playing it, but I needed to create a model for the neighbor. You know, just in case you end up running into him while snooping around his house. I went for a simple, low-poly look for the sake of time management and because, quite frankly, I'm no Blender guru. I rigged the model for animation and created a walk cycle in a simple standing pose. This, by the way, is supposed to be a hazmat suit, just in case you were wondering. I needed to make the neighbor move with some form of intelligence in-game. The goal was to make the neighbor routinely check certain locations and chase the player if he spots them. To do this, I created a nav mesh, which is a structure that defines where an agent can move, the neighbor being the agent in this case. To calculate the path from an agent to its destination, Unity Navigation and many other game engines use the A* algorithm. To picture how the algorithm works, imagine you have a grid with a start block and an end block, and maybe some obstacles in between. Finding the path involves looking at all the blocks surrounding the start block and selecting the block with the lowest movement cost, which is the sum of the block's distance from the start and its distance to the finish. You routinely select the blocks with the lowest movement cost until you reach the finish. Sebastian Lake has an awesome video series explaining A* and how to implement and optimize it. I definitely suggest that you check it out if you want to learn more about pathfinding. After refining my code and debugging some interesting results, or just bad results, I was happy with how the neighbor was moving and interacting with the environment. I also added a finishing touch to keep the neighbor's head pointed at you when he's chasing you, and it's really unsettling. It was time to start adding some finishing touches because, to be honest, I got pretty sick of working on this game. To address some critiques I've gotten on my games in the past, I added a walk-up to the house with a tutorial on how to use the controls. I also added some lighting to complete the look of the game. After waiting an hour for the lights to bake, I was actually really happy with how it looked. In level design, it's good to contrast points of focus with the general environment, so I used an unlit, cartoony style on most of the furniture and used realistic textures on the walls, floors, and ceilings. To finish the game off, I added some pop-up notifications to communicate with the player in a seamless way. Aside from adding a start menu and some intro dialogue, I am done. If you want to play the game, it'll be up on January 4th on my itch.io page, which I will link in the description of this video. Happy New Year, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Slow it down to a medium groove.